Main Street Media Television's exclusive coverage of SEC Media Days, driven by Complete Service Heat and Air, your trusted provider of top-notch heating and cooling solutions, dedicated to ensuring optimal comfort and efficiency for residential and commercial spaces. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air in the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties. SEC Media Days is also brought to you in part by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic, Micah Blunt, your State Farm agent, Tim Sutherland of Rolling Hills Realty, Pamela Witt, loan officer for First Lending Solutions, Luke's Breakfast and Burgers, the Roxy Theater, the Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, and Alicia Duncan with 24 Realty. Now, let's go to downtown Nashville and join Maurice Patton, Chris Yao, and Wade Neely as they broadcast from the Grand Hyatt.
Welcome into downtown Nashville. Chris Yao, Wade Neely, Mo Patton here with you on this, a Wednesday edition of Main Street Sports Today. Presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. This is the fantastic coverage that we have coming to you. Sorry, I was getting
the
there.
thumbs up edition of the program.
It was the thumbs up edition of the program. Okay, we're back now. This is exciting because Wednesday is Alabama Day, and the media circus that is around Alabama Day here at SEC Media Days is always fun. So there's that.
Fitting that it's Wild and Wacky Wednesday and Alabama Day. You really can't write this kind of script, folks.
You really can't.
It's almost like it was planned.
Almost. They looked at our schedule and said, oh, these guys do Wild and Wacky. That's perfect. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. It's the Lee Company studio. And, of course, our coverage here from SEC Media Days brought to you by Complete Service Heat and Air. We've got a big show coming up. Yesterday, we got a chance to talk with College Football Playoff Executive Director Bill Hancock. We will play that interview for you today. Earlier today, we got a chance to sit down with former Tennessee offensive coordinator and Ole Miss head coach, and the guy walking across the room right now,
as we speak,
former longtime Tennessee offensive coordinator, matter of fact, and Duke head coach as well, David CUTCLIFFE.
And Ole Miss.
Yeah, I said Ole Miss already.
Did you? My bad. I'm sorry.
I doubled up on everything except Ole Miss for whatever reason. But we'll get to that as well a little bit later in the show. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss that. ESPN's Ryan McGee set to join us for Wild and Wacky Wednesdays segment, which should be an absolute blast considering, Ryan has a little wild and wacky segment of his own on the show called Redneck Headlines with he and Marty. And sometimes they overlap. The two kind of sometimes have the same headlines. It does happen. It has happened. So we'll get his expertise on that matter as well. Plenty to get to. We're going to do it. But before we do anything else, guys, how do you feel now, Mo, after the start to this day? You feeling better?
I feel lucky that we've survived to this point, given the way this day started. To be honest,
the weather did not help us.
The weather did not help us. The traffic did not help us.
The Alabama fans could have been a hindrance.
Some athletic media relations people were a hindrance. One of us did not bring their credential. That did not help us. No, it didn't.
Luckily, we got that taken care of a little quicker. A little quicker than we initially thought might happen. So, thank goodness.
You're welcome.
But it's been a tough start to the day. Actually, two of us forgot our credentials.
Yeah.
Technically.
And one of us is still riding dirty as we speak. But yeah.
Glad to know that we're all right, though.
Yeah.
All right. We've got a lot to get to. Wade, you got here a little late this morning. You were on the struggle bus to get here. It's 2:00. Show's happening. Feeling good?
I'm feeling good. That might have something to do with the 3 cups of coffee I've had. I'm like you guys.
Wade's going to take a break in the middle of the show.
You just try and survive in advance, as I hear a lot of football coaches say throughout the week as this thing goes on. However, having Alabama here, that certainly raised morale, I think, in some capacity. And then obviously we got Tennessee to look forward to tomorrow. So a lot to be excited about both today and tomorrow as we get ready to close this thing out. This is truly the marathon of media days. This is the slog right here, partner.
This is kind of the dog days of media day.
Yeah, as it were.
The third of the 4 days, and it's like, okay, everybody's walked around enough. We've said hello to everybody we can say hello to. You feel like you're annoying some folks at times, and it's
so
like,
you just let them kind of walk on by at that point.
Yeah, it can get a little crazy, but we're having a good time. We're going to be here throughout the rest of today and tomorrow. We've got plenty to get to, but before we do anything else, fellas, yesterday's results, today's schedule, it's the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Major League Baseball action last night. It was the Phillies with a 4-3 victory over Milwaukee. The Padres down the Blue Jays 9-1. The Giants with an 11-10 victory over the Reds. It was the Cardinals 5, the Marlins 2 in 10 innings. The Cubs 17, the Nats 3. Rockies edged the Astros 4-3, and in a absolute shootout, the Diamondbacks scored 3 in the 9th to down Atlanta 16-13. In minor league baseball action, Jacksonville opened their 6-game series over at First Horizon Park with a 6-4 jumbo shrimp victory over the Sounds.
WNBA action, Dream knocking off the Lynx by a count of 82-73. It was the Mercury defeating the Sun 72-66. Other scores from the Association, and these are scores from this morning, in fact. It was the Fever 82, Mystics 76, the Wings 98, the Liberty. Big win for the Wings over the Liberty, 98-88. And a quick Little League State Tournament baseball schedule update. Nolensville will take on Morristown tonight at 6 o'clock. Columbia American meets Lexington in an 8 p.m. showdown.
Yeah, both those games were postponed from yesterday due to inclement weather. I know you're shocked.
Yeah, shocked indeed.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball action today ongoing. The Cardinals are 4-2 leaders over the Marlins in the top of the third. It's the Astros and Rockies this afternoon. 2:10 first pitch. They'll get started right about now. So if Wade starts watching baseball on his phone, you'll know what's going on. The Brewers are at the Phillies at 5:40 tonight at 6:07. It's the Blue Jays playing host to the Padres. At 6:10, the Giants of San Francisco are in Cincinnati, and the Diamondbacks continue their series in Atlanta at 6:20 tonight. Jacksonville at First Horizon Park. 6:35 first pitch on Stadium. If you want to watch it, it's nationally televised. So always fun. A little soccer action tonight. The MLS All-Stars, Mo, are playing Arsenal at 7:30. I don't know if that's on television or not, but if it is, check it out.
Check your local listings.
Now, for those of you who really love soccer,
Really
love soccer. Women's soccer, Women's World Cup, New Zealand and Norway at 2 a.m. on Big Fox. Because what else are they running at 2 a.m.?
12 hours from now.
That's right.
Yes.
a little under 12 hours from now, you can catch
Set your alarm.
on Big Fox.
Big Fox.
And then at 5 a.m., right after that, Australia and Ireland will play also on Big Fox.
Get the coffee going.
Yeah, that's the 3 cups that Wade
There
had.
we go.
So that's going to do it for your rundown. Top story today is brought to you by our friends at Piggly Wiggly. Neely's Mill Shopping Center in Columbia. They are your best bet for fresh hand-cut meats, deli, meat and 3, or fresh produce, your local cost plus 10 option. So go see the fine folks at Piggly Wiggly and Neely's Mill Shopping Center.
You know, I've listened to our colleague Olivia Adams voice that ad, and I did not realize what cost plus 10 meant until just now when you said it, it clicked for me. No, I was not familiar with that phrase.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Cost plus 10. I like it.
It's a solid way to grocery shop for sure. The Arena Football League, which has been defunct for quite some time, at least since 2014, I think was the last time the Arena Football League existed.
Was it that long?
In some sort of capacity? It made. I'm not sure because the Arena Football League has had a lot of different entities.
And not all arena football has been the Arena Football League.
No, the Arena Football League, I guess, last played in 2019.
Okay. With 6 teams, I think.
It was a very, it
Wild
was
and
rough.
wacky in its own right.
It was rough. I mean, it just simply was. So, anyway, they announced that they're coming back, and they announced.
I think they announced back in February that they were coming back. They announced
true.
here in the last day or so where specifically they're coming back.
Well, they intend
Yeah.
to play. 16 cities across the United States that official AFL intends to play in. One of those is Nashville.
Hello. You think what I'm thinking?
If I don't know, what are you thinking?
Well, it's Wild and Wacky Wednesday, so there ain't no telling. But I'm thinking, what are the chances we could just pull those Cats jerseys out of the closet
I'd love to know where those Cats jerseys are.
and
Yeah.
blow off the dust and just roll them bad boys out?
Andy Kelly ain't walking through that door. I don't
Andy
believe.
Kelly is
Unlikely.
nor is what was the receiver from Tennessee? Fleming.
Corey Fleming.
Corey Fleming. I don't think he's coming either.
I wonder if Kenton Evans has got anything left in the
Kind of
arm.
in the tank.
Yeah.
I bet Kenton probably does have a little left in the tank. You know, if they're looking for a coach, the former Nashville Cats coach is jobless since he quit his most recent position at Knox Catholic. Dean Coquinos. he ain't got a job.
You ain't got no job.
So other official announcement cities include Austin, Texas, Boise, Idaho, California playing Bakersfield, Chicago, Colorado. I didn't see what city that was supposed
Denver.
to be in. Denver. All right. Minnesota, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Little Bessie girl, I once knew.
One of these things is not like the other.
Well, just we'll keep going. Ohio,
Cincinnati,
which will play ideally in
Newport,
US Bank Arena.
maybe in Newport, Kentucky. Who knows?
Or
But yeah.
maybe in Newport, Kentucky, where the North Kentucky River Monsters used to play, home of Jared Lorenzen at one time.
The late
Orlando,
Jared Lorenzen.
Salem, Oregon. Now,
Yeah.
this is an interesting one because everything I've seen on the internet says Salem doesn't even have an arena. Now, that's not to say they're not building one.
Now that's going to make indoor football
Yes.
a little dicey.
They said they got a 4,000 seat basketball arena, but they don't think you could fit an indoor football field in there. So, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Tallahassee, which hasn't had an arena football team since 2002.
No, it's interesting. I'm not seeing St. Louis on the list I'm looking at.
San Antonio
I'm
is the
seeing
list.
San Antonio.
Okay, San Antonio is incorrect.
Oh,
St. Louis is correct.
Already a little misinformation on the AFL here.
TMZ messed it up. Surprise, surprise. Yeah.
Okay.
Nashville, Washington, D.C., not the state. No, I'm sorry. It is Washington State, not D.C. It's Everett, Washington.
Okay.
And Odessa, Texas.
West Texas.
Yes.
Which will play in Odessa, home of the former Odessa Roughnecks. And remember that quarterback I told you that tore his meniscus and his MCL and then drove home from Bossier Shreveport? He was the quarterback of like 4 championship teams for the Odessa Roughnecks of the indoor football league. So
Home also of Odessa Permian.
No doubt.
Friday Night
Lights
fame.
fame.
Yes.
So, I mean, here's the thing. I don't think they'll ever play. I don't think they'll play.
You're already
Dang.
writing their obituary.
Dang, Chris.
One, I think this is too.
It's too many. It's too big.
Too expensive. You're right.
It is.
I can see them coming back at about half that.
And regionalized.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and here's the thing: you don't have Jacksonville, which has a already a successful Jacksonville Sharks program. You don't have the Iowa Barnstormers, which are still in existence, playing in the Indoor Football League. You don't have the Arizona Rattlers, despite the picture this guy used being of the Arizona Rattlers
That's
arena.
tough.
Arizona Rattlers, and you're going to play in Bakersfield, not San Jose, where the SaberCats were
a mainstay.
absolutely. I think they've missed on some markets. I think it's too big.
Well, now here's the thing. They've not identified owners.
That's correct.
They've not identified facilities.
That's correct.
They've certainly not identified players.
Where would they play in Nashville? Because
I don't think
it's got to be municipal, right?
it's almost got to be municipal. I don't think they could play at Bridgestone. Don't think.
I don't think they could afford
Yeah.
to play at Bridgestone.
That was my initial thought, is the cost.
Yeah. So I think it's almost got to be municipal.
Now, here's the thing. The Indoor Football League, the IFL, is easily the top indoor league. They've been around the longest. They've got a lot of great programs. Most of the owners are pretty, I think all of the owners actually are pretty established. The NAL, the National Arena League, which also uses the return nets that nobody else uses. Jacksonville, Albany, that we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks. With
Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Philadelphia's in there. I think there's several great markets, arena football markets, but the NAL's not going anywhere, clearly, because they don't have Jacksonville marked as a potential spot. I just feel like this is very ambitious.
In 2019, as you said, that was the last AFL season. They had 6 teams: Albany Empire, Washington, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Atlantic City, and Columbus. So, as Wade said, regionalized.
The Minnesota franchise will be female-owned, plus location, name, and uniforms by the end of the summer.
Okay.
We're getting close to the end of the summer.
So, September 20th, 19th. September 19th or September 22nd, one of the two. It's around my birthday.
Mid-September. Mid to late September.
I'll give you that then.
Okay.
So you've got some time, but I just can't imagine that Nashville is a great market for this.
When are they going to play?
Well, one would assume through the summer like they used to.
It's almost got to be. But what else? I mean, you've got
the XFL,
you've got USFL, you've got the soccer league. You've got MLS soccer here in Nashville now.
You've got soccer, which is 30,000 folks, which apparently they take a whole month off in July. So I guess that's good.
They're on a league break, at the
hiatus.
Hiatus,
siesta,
at the
if
moment.
you will. I mean,
Esther who?
Siesta.
Okay.
It's like going down to Dumas Walker. But I just can't imagine that this is going to work out well. Look, I hope it does, because I, as everyone knows, am an arena football junkie. President of the Birmingham Steel Dogs fan club. I was at practice. I was feeding the team on Friday nights before home games. I mean, I'm the kind of guy who, if arena football is here, I'm there. And I hope that I hope they're successful. I hope they come in here and 15,000 people pack Municipal Auditorium and we have a blast.
If there are 15,000 people in Municipal, it will be packed.
To the rafters.
It will be hanging off of stuff.
I mean, I don't know what Municipal holds. Probably,
it ain't 15,000. I'm not sure they hold 11. Yeah, let's see.
So I don't know. I mean, I've never been in it. Even though when the Nashville Venom played here, I wasn't here. And that was the most recent Nashville team that played here in the
9,700.
Okay. Yeah, no, 15,000 ain't fitting.
No.
Overflow.
Yeah.
No, unless somebody knocks the fire marshal out and kidnaps him. You ain't getting 15,000 in minutes. Yeah.
Now, I will say this. Selfishly, I'm kind of conflicted on this because a young Wade Neely, my first internship was with Titans Radio at MTSU. It was in the spring, however. So they said, you're going to be covering football, but it just may not be the NFL. You're going to be covering the Cats, the AFL. So Coach Perduto, I remember it was Jeff Smoker was the quarterback back then.
Gosh.
Of Michigan State fame. Dan Alexander, former Nebraska standout, was there.
Now Thompson Station resident.
And real estate agent. Yeah.
And so I have fond memories of the Cats, and I'm kind of like you. I don't know that I want to see a league come back, or especially at least in Nashville, a franchise come back
and not be the Cats
and just fizzle and just even if it's not the Cats, but just absolutely flame out. And there's just too many unknowns and too many variables right now. It just seems like a real just a dart throw of a headline almost grab with this announcement. I'd like to see a little more substance behind it before I really kind of maybe get my excitement levels up.
So what you're saying is
correct.
right now it's all sizzle and no steak.
That's right.
That's what I'm taking away from this.
So I'll be interested. I'm hoping. I am very hopeful that it works out, because I would love to see indoor arena football near me, wherever I am. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Cautiously optimistic.
So, fellas, let's take a break.
Just do.
We'll come back with our chat with Bill Hancock from yesterday. So if you want to know where Nashville stands in the college football playoff conversation, we got that for you. If you want to know what's going to happen with the 12-team playoff and all of the things that go along with that, we got that coming for you. So
if you want to know what Bill Hancock will be doing February 2nd, 2025, we got that for you. Yeah,
that's right. So great conversation with Bill Hancock. It's coming up right after this, so stick around on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back to SEC football kickoff media days right after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you. No matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Complete Service Heat and Air is a trusted provider of top-notch heating and cooling solutions dedicated to ensuring optimal comfort and efficiency for residential and commercial spaces. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way 24/7. Service, call us at 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back to SEC Football Media Days kickoff event here at the Grand Hyatt in downtown Nashville. This is Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are in the Mobile League Company studio here on Radio Row, coming to you from SEC Media Days. Man, what a fantastic week it has been so far, and a continued fantastic week as we've got another day and a half or so left of this thing. So it should be a lot of fun. Again, we are happy to be with you and bringing you the most timely and comprehensive sports and sports news coverage in all of Middle Tennessee. Mo, always a good time when we get to SEC Media Days because this next guest is going to be around, and our conversations lead to fruitful things happening, especially here in Nashville.
They do indeed, because the last time we had this guest, the question came up, what would happen if Nashville gets a new stadium? And I don't know if our conversation had anything to do with Nashville getting a new stadium, but we talked to Bill Hancock about Nashville getting a new stadium. They're getting a new stadium.
So
coincidence?
I think not.
We think not. Yeah.
Bill Hancock, the executive director, is that correct? Or
yeah,
of the college football playoff.
Head flunky.
Yeah. and he joins us here on Main Street Sports Today. Thanks for taking time with us again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. And I know Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint, Mid-Tennessee.
That's right.
Mid-Tennessee.
I will give a commercial. I just had a knee replacement about 6 weeks ago. Not with them, but with somebody else in Kansas City. But if you're thinking about getting a knee replacement, go do it.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Put it off.
You had it 6 weeks ago? And I never
6.5.
And I never would have known to watch you walk around here.
It's a miracle. It is a total, absolute miracle. So
Changed
anyway,
your life,
that's
huh?
my commercial.
You're not the first person I've heard say get your knee replaced.
Don't fool around. There's no reason to fiddle around with it. Just go do it. And you might be in pain for a week, but hey, maybe 2. It's a miracle. I thought about y'all this morning when I went for my walk, speaking of which, and I walked over to the stadium because I don't know which side of the stadium the new stadium will be on. Like as I was walking across the pedestrian bridge.
It's going to be south.
South. Okay. That's what I thought was south.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a street in there, right? Between
for now.
for now?
Yeah.
Will the street not be there anymore?
We don't really know.
Rerouted?
It's probably rerouted.
TBD is our best
TBD.
To be determined.
assessment.
Yeah. And what will ultimately go on the ground where the current stadium is?
Parking, I believe.
Parking?
Yeah.
Surface parking, or will they build a ramp?
I would imagine they'll build something.
One would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
This
mean-
is not why you had me on the show.
No,
That's
but you're
okay,
right.
though. But
I mean, it's
Yeah.
important because, and we don't really know a whole lot of details. We haven't seen a lot of details come
Mhm.
out about the stadium, other than it's going to
coming.
happen. So I think that they're all great questions, and they're all things that we would all like the answer to. To be honest with you, Bill.
I could sit on your side of the desk and I could ask the questions.
Hey, listen,
You know,
we
You know,
We've had that
I
happen.
like where you're sitting though. With all due respect, because I really enjoy what you do, and
Me
it
too.
seems
Me
you're
too.
only going to be doing it for another, less than another couple of years, I guess. You announced last month that you're going to be stepping down.
Yep.
In February of
I
25.
did. When my contract ends, I told the board I don't need to extend. And really, frankly, part of that is now that I have this new knee, I can go hiking and all that without having any pain.
And so you're going to, huh?
I'm going to. And I've had a great career. My first year in college athletics was 1971, before any of y'all were born.
Before maybe two of us were born.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And I've had a great career, loved it, loved every minute of it, and it's time to move on. There's some mixed emotions.
Mhm.
I'm going to miss the people. I'm going to miss this a lot. But
I'm sure they'll let you come back.
I don't know if they will or not. Can I get a credential?
I
I think?
You can be part of Main Street
I was gonna say,
Sports
we'll
today.
slide
if
you
you
in.
want
We'll credential you, and you can just hang out you can hang out on this side of the desk. Yeah.
and ask all the questions. You'll be in good shape.
Perfect.
Yeah, we got you. We got you. Before you go, though, I mean, it seems you're leaving this thing in pretty good shape.
Yeah, CFP's in really good shape. We've had 8-9 great years, and looking forward to another one this year when who knows what might happen. Just looking back to when it was created, I had high expectations, but they've been exceeded by the popularity of the event, by the attention that the weekly rankings have brought to the sport. And it's just been a phenomenal event, and it's only going to get better.
It's only going to get better, and it's going to get better. A lot of folks will say after this upcoming season.
Well, it's not the only time that the stadium was not the only thing that we forecasted in our conversation with Bill last year. The 12-team playoff had not been announced yet.
That's true. So it's going to get better next season when the CFP goes from four teams to 12 teams.
Yeah, that was when we talked before, we were in between because there'd been a group of the commissioners that wanted to expand, and then 3 of them said, no, we don't want to. And that shot the deal down. And then in September last year, our board, the university president, said unanimously, we will expand and we'll do it as soon as we can. So that's where we are. We're right in the middle of getting ready for the expansion.
Which is obviously a pivotal time. And Bill, while we have you, I'm curious, you kind of roam these halls, and there's just so much excitement in the air. And I guess my question to you is, what are some of your favorite things that you're going to savor and enjoy these next couple of years being a part of an event like SEC Media Days?
Well, this SEC Media Days is awesome. You nailed it. You can just feel the energy, especially here on Radio Row, and how crowded we were up in Hoover. This is way better, and I guess Dallas will be even better. That was an interesting announcement yesterday from Commissioner Sankey about Dallas, and I'm happy for them, proud of them, think it's a good decision. But what's on our mind is just implementing the new event, and particularly focusing on the first round on campus. These are 4 games on campus. There's never been a tournament like this in college football, never been a tournament game played on campus. A lot of great games played on a lot of campuses around the country. A lot of meaningful games. I think these games will be the most meaningful games in the history of these campuses.
It's a massive undertaking, and is that kind of what I'm picking up? Is you guys now over the next couple of months kind of just fine tuning a few things, but pretty much the roadmap is set. Now we're just trying to make things as best as possible.
Yep, there's a lot of details to implementing a new event. Where will the visiting team stay? Say Starkville hosts a game, Stillwater hosts a game, State College, Clemson. Where will the visiting team stay? We have to work that out. How many tickets will go to the visiting team? We'd like to have a set number for every game so an AD can plan in August. They can start thinking, okay, if we get in the first round, we're going to get 3,000 tickets or whatever. So media, how to deal with what if the press box is too small? Visiting locker rooms. A lot of places don't have great, large visiting locker rooms. How do you deal with that?
And you mentioned a couple of teams, but specifically, what if Appalachian State is undefeated and they're the number 7 seed, and now they're hosting, and you got to go to Boone, North Carolina? What does that look like
with this event?
Yep. What does that look like? That would be really difficult.
Yep, and Appalachian State would have earned it, and so we will be going to Boone. We'll work it out. Y'all may have to sit outdoors.
I mean, that's kind of
bring your parkas.
I'd be okay with that.
I don't know if I want to sit outdoors in Boone, North Carolina in December.
In the time that we're going to be playing a college football playoff game. Well, and on top of that, you're going to have 4 games on different campuses across the country, and you guys probably will have to staff that too, won't you?
We will. Yep.
So you will. That's going to be an undertaking.
So in other words, y'all hiring?
Y'all are hiring. That's what I'm hearing. That's going to be tough.
The fact is, the home school will do most of the work.
Gotcha.
Of course, they're there. We've got them there. There's no reason to do anything different. How much of the home school pageantry will you have? Will you have Wisconsin? You'll have to have a jump around in the third quarter.
And that's interesting because, we're not too far removed from the NCAA baseball tournament and the College World Series and that kind of thing. And they really kind of sanitize those postseason games where they can't necessarily play the home team's walk-up music. The home team isn't always the home team, different things like that. So again, how much of that home team pageantry do you allow in that tournament setting?
The magic of a college football Saturday is a lot of the pageantry. And so we don't intend to get rid of it right now, but we do intend to let the visiting team have their run-on music. So maybe the pregame show is going to be a little bit longer because you've got to have both. But I don't suppose we'll have in the third quarter the giveaway of the scholarship for the journalism school at Oklahoma. I don't suppose we'll have that.
Sure.
So it'll be a combination, but keep that homeschool pageantry.
Both bands would be ideal.
Both bands would be ideal. Both bands would be ideal. What makes college football special? You can list a lot of things. Marching bands.
It is, and that to me that's what separates college football from professional is the things surrounding the event. And college football playoff events are just that. I mean, this is not something that's going to be a show up on Saturday kind of thing. You're going to have ESPN crews out. You're going to have CBS crews out. It's going to be a big deal.
It's going to be a big deal. Yep. It's going to be really cool. And then, of course, 10 days later, the winners go off to the bowl games to play New Year's Day and New Year's Eve. We envision one game New Year's Eve, 3 quarterfinal games New Year's Day. And so 10 days later, they go play again. And then 10 days after that, they go play in the semifinals.
How special is it to you, and you may not have even thought about this to this point, to be the executive director to enact all of that as kind of your swan song to some degree?
I guess I really haven't thought about that. I will say this. When I was hired to do the CFP, I was the only person at the start. And the commissioner said, okay, build a staff, get a selection committee, finish the TV rights. And I'm like, okay.
No big deal.
No big deal. And looking back on it now, I should have been scared to death. But I wasn't. It was a great opportunity, and now we have a great staff. And basically they do all the work. So that's what we'll do with the new deal. We probably add a few staff. We have 17 on our staff at our office in Dallas, plus 3 on our foundation staff. And we may need to add a few more. It's going to be awesome.
It should come as no surprise, guys, that Bill's able to pull all this off with his background as a co-side Hall of Famer. I mean, it kind of goes back to the old adage: if you can do anything in sports information, you can do just about anything. Bill, I'm sure you're aware of that.
I did start my career in sports information, and I did. They had 1 year where they couldn't find anybody to put in the Hall of Fame, so they stuck me in there.
I find that somewhat hard to believe.
I find it terribly hard to believe, actually, but.
I don't think anybody in the athletic department knows as much about all the department as the sports information director.
Right. And I mean, you watch so much from that position. I was a student worker in sports information at Middle Tennessee State. So, I mean, and this guy was a former athletic media relations director. So, I mean, we've kind of got a feel for and an affinity for those folks. So,
but I truly believe that that position in particular, you're balancing so many hats or wearing so many hats at once. Kind of like this role that you're currently serving in. It seems like those positions are sometimes best equipped to pull off big operations like this.
Yep. And I think if you need to know how to write. If you're going to want a career, you need to know how to write. Now, I know a lot of young people don't care about that. All they want to do is tweet. But you need to know how to write, and you need to know how to read, be a reader. When young people ask me about what do I need to do, I say read and write. Know everything about the business that you can possibly absorb. And I got a chance to be a student assistant in sports information my junior year in college, and I thought I had died and gone to heaven. It was the coolest thing. We carried typewriters up to the press box on Friday afternoon to get ready for games. And
did you carry the mimeograph?
I did, and
Wow.
if you had to be careful with that mimeograph machine because you could spill the fluid on your pants while you were carrying it up to the press box. So you had to be real careful.
and you had to carry it up because, Floyd Stadium, Tennessee Tech, there were no elevators, So yeah, you had to lug that stuff.
Yeah, we had an elevator at Oklahoma. We were kind of big time.
Oh, you were kind of big time.
Yeah. It fit 6 people could go up at once.
Oh,
That didn't take long to get up there, did it?
You carried it up all the stairs.
Oh man,
all the steps.
All the steps. Yeah.
No wonder you're so big and strong.
Well, big anyway. No.
I thought I had it bad having to carry a backpack with about 4 laptops in it, but
no.
I know that you guys blazed a different trail for me. That's for sure.
When I was my first year in the business, we had Oklahoma had a good team, 1971. That was a game of Oklahoma, Nebraska on Thanksgiving, both undefeated. Great 35-31 game. And that was my introduction to the world of college athletics. And I thought, man, I'm in the greatest career ever. My salary was $7,000 a year, and that was fine. I had a wife and a baby, and we did great. And we had to walk uphill to school in the snow.
Well,
there we go.
Because you're working in sports.
You're working in sports.
And getting paid to do it.
And getting paid to do it.
Think about all those people walking down the street out there right now. They'd all love to be right here sitting where y'all are sitting.
I mean, Bill, I'm from the Birmingham area, so I've been on the other side of the stanchions at SEC Media Days, looking down Radio Row going, I can't wait to be there one day. So it's pretty cool. And there is a level of excitement, when you're able to be here in this type of environment. And those folks out there, they working in sports is a lot of fun. So for those of you out there who are, looking at potentially working in sports, you're never going to be rich, but you can have a lot of fun doing it, and you get to talk to folks like Bill Hancock.
Like Bill Hancock.
Well, truly, I mean, you have a lot of good friends, but isn't it funny because they think it's all about games.
Mm-hmm.
And games are such a tiny percentage of what any of us do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Microscope. Bill, before we get you out of here, what's going to be 1 or 2 big things, or maybe that you're most proud of with your time, kind of forming and shaping? This has literally been your baby in many regards. And just what's 1 or 2 things that you're most
proud of during your tenure?
Ooh, good question. Well, just the fact that we have a playoff and that it has been so successful. We played the championship game in 10 different cities in the first 10 years. I guess what I'm the most proud of, though, would be the people that I've encountered in that time, y'all, the three of you, others. When you leave a position, what your legacy is the people that you've been able to work with. And I've been lucky enough to have a lot of people that I've really enjoyed working with.
Well, you said it earlier. You said it last year. All the boxes can be checked for Nashville as soon as that stadium's done. Do you foresee the College Football Playoff Championship being in this city, or at least a semifinal in this city within the next few years?
Well, I'll never forget the day Scott Ramsey called me after the council had made
I bet he did. I bet you were the first call. I bet Scott said, let me get Bill on the phone.
I will never – he called me the day before to say, tonight's the night. And I'll never forget the excitement in his voice.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact is, it's going to be hard for CFP not to go to Nashville. Now, I'm making a commitment on the part of whoever takes my place.
Yeah.
I'll be gone. I need to tell Ramsey – I just want a credential to go see the game.
I just
when
need
it's
to
here.
be there. That's right.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, Scott, we've said it a number of times this week. Nobody throws a party quite like Nashville, and you put a college football championship game right here in this town, and it's going to be insanity.
This is a world-class city, and now it's going to have a world-class stadium.
Well,
and I don't think you'll have any problem getting in.
No.
You don't?
I really don't.
I'm going to tell them I know you. Would that help?
No, it will not.
Do not do that.
It will not help. In fact, that's probably the one way that you won't get in. So be careful with that.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been great, y'all. It's been really fun.
Bill Hancock, Executive Director of the College Football Playoff here on Main Street Sports Today. Bill, again, as always, it's a pleasure. And we cannot thank you enough for all the work you did to make this happen and for your patience today as we tried to scarf down some lunch. So thank you.
Appreciate you.
The corn was pretty good up there. I don't know if you had
it
the
was
corn.
it was all really solid.
The pork, all good.
So
yeah.
We'll
All
take
right,
a break.
y'all take care.
When we come back here on Main Street Sports Today, more live from the SEC Football Media Days kickoff event at the Grand Hyatt in downtown Nashville. Come back with us.
Since 1975, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has treated the orthopedic needs of Middle Tennessee residents. The trained physicians provide surgical options and minimally invasive options to treat all orthopedic needs. The walk-in clinic, OrthoQuick, helps you bypass the ER while treating sports injuries and acute needs Monday through Saturday. Visit MTBJ online at mtbj.net or on social media at Mid-Tennessee Bone Joint Clinic.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
If you're looking to buy or sell in Dickson County, Tennessee, call Tim Sutherland at Rolling Hills Realty. As a seasoned realtor, Tim knows how to get you the best price for your home. Selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you'll make, so trust the expert. Call Tim Sutherland today at 615-720-1568 or visit rollinghillsrealtydixon.com.
Complete Service Heat and Air is a trusted provider of top-notch heating and cooling solutions dedicated to ensuring optimal comfort and efficiency for residential and commercial spaces. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties.
July 19th, 1996. Opening ceremonies are held for the 1996 Summer Olympics at Atlanta Centennial Olympic Stadium. Following the games, the structure is reconfigured into Turner Field, the home of the Braves from 1997 to 2016. That was this day in Braves history.
All right. This day in Braves history, neither a win nor a loss.
Not a game.
Not even a game.
Yep.
But last night there was a game.
And it was not a win.
It was not a win. But the offense had a heck of an evening. Got to give it up for the boys with the bats.
It's tough when you score 13 and don't win.
It's tough when you score more runs than 27.
28.
20.
Only two teams scored more
That's right,
runs.
28.
Yeah.
That's right. 28 teams.
Only two teams scored more runs than the Braves last night.
Unfortunately, one of them was the opponent, Arizona. 16 runs for the Diamondbacks in a 16-13 win, as we told you in the rundown. Another phenomenal first inning from this offense. And you said it, 100 runs scored in that first inning this year, plus 68 on the run differential. Just feel like, if you're that good in the first inning, you ought to be that good the rest of the way, and they were.
Last night they were. They added 4 in the fourth and 2 each in the fifth and the sixth, but couldn't get Arizona stopped. And I'm not going to go all Braves Twitter or Facebook Braves and say that Bryce Elder needs to be sent down.
That's insane.
But
he's an all-star.
But are you concerned? I mean,
it's 2 starts in a row.
Yeah. One before the All-Star break and one after, where he's pretty well gotten lit up like a Christmas tree.
And a lot of folks said it was coming because his numbers didn't really make they didn't make sense.
Is there some fatigue?
I mean, could there be? Sure. He hasn't pitched an entire season yet. This is his first time, coming into the year as a starter. And but that being said, it's not like he's a fireballer. It's not like he goes out there and throws 120 pitches every night. I don't know. But he's got to figure it out soon.
Well, does he have to figure it out soon? Because Max Fried's coming. There's also Soroka.
It will be
obviously
probably an Allard spot.
Yeah. I mean, Allard's done, and he's on the 60-day DL. I don't expect him back this year.
I don't know that he'll be back in a Braves uniform. So, it was a flyer to take him anyway.
Yeah.
He ended up getting hurt. I don't know. This rotation of Freed, Kyle Wright, maybe. I don't know that Kyle Wright's back this year at this point.
Not hearing a whole lot about him.
So I don't know.
But I mean, you would like for Freed to figure it out. I mean, they're not going to take him out of the rotation over 2 bad starts. But
I'm not sure they can afford to take him out at all, unless you get Wright back.
Yeah. So, and you've got Bryce Elder struggling all of a sudden. You've got Spencer Strider struggling all of a sudden. And
maybe it's just this July.
Maybe.
You got to cool down a little bit.
Water's going to find its level. I mean, I don't think the Braves' water level is much lower than where they currently are right now, losing 3 in a row. But it's not like this hasn't happened before. They lost 3 in a row in March or in May.
All I know is they better start winning because morale on this show is pretty low at the moment. And I don't like it when you guys are down a little bit. So I need to turn it around.
We've gotten spoiled, and we said it all along when they were playing the way they were and going 26-4 over 30 games and that kind of thing. I mean, we had Eric O'Flaherty on last week. We talked about, they can't keep this up, can they? Well, no, they can't. So
no one can.
Now what?
Now's when you have to find a way to
stop the bleeding.
Stop the bleeding. You've lost 3. You feel like you have an opportunity to put some distance in between yourself and second and third place. But they picked up. Well, the Phillies picked up a game out of their 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Marlins lost to the Cardinals.
Yeah, now it's the Phillies in second place.
Yeah, the Phillies are now in second place after Miami's collapse against the Braves and since. But the thing is, again, the Phillies are playing really well right now. You don't want that team to get hot in the second half like they did last year.
The Phillies are playing really well right now. And they're still 9.5 down.
Or maybe you do. I mean, crap. Wild card teams, that wild card weekend, not playing that wild card weekend last year was the worst thing that could have happened to the Braves.
Well,
and maybe All-Star week, I know they came out and hit, scored 9 runs, had a great outing in that first game against Chicago, but maybe that was just dumb luck.
I don't think you want to be the team that has blown the league that we're talking about Atlanta potentially blowing, though, going to.
Especially if you're from Atlanta.
Yeah.
The Falcons might not mind
28-3, yeah.
The Falcons would be like, finally, get somebody off our butts.
Right. So.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
And to then try to regroup and go into postseason play.
It's not ideal.
Yeah. So.
I just
they got to figure some things out.
But not offensively. Clearly,
there you go.
Offense seems to be doing okay.
Historically great night offensively in Major League Baseball. Hadn't done something that happened last night had not happened in 6 or 29 years.
The number of double-digit scoring squads.
Number of teams that scored double digits, and 3 games ended 11-10 last night. 3 different games. Meanwhile, in Colorado, 4-3, as we all expect.
As you would expect, where Houston and Colorado score 3 runs each in the first inning.
And it finishes up 4-3.
And the final ends up being 4-3. Houston early on Colorado this afternoon, though. But yeah, I'm like you. I'm a little down and I'm a little salty in terms of Major League Baseball this afternoon as well. So
we can
meanwhile, the Cubs spotted the Nats 3 runs and then ran off 17 straight.
That's always fun.
Look at this.
Sit down.
Have a seat.
Derek Mason just sat down and said, "What's up?" Let's get out of this. Take a break and come back with him.
Absolutely.
Hey, Justin, can you take a 1-minute break and play our promo? Let's do that. Take a minute break. We'll come back. Derek Mason's sitting down. We'll see what he's got to say.
Might as well talk to him.
That's right.
We'll be right back after this.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best-looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Coach there.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Wade Neely, Mo Patton here with you on this Wednesday edition, live from 2023 Football Media Days kickoff SEC in downtown Nashville at the Grand Hyatt. So glad to have you guys with us, and we are super excited about our next guest, former Vanderbilt head coach right here in Nashville. Derek Mason joins us, and my microphone keeps just it's got issues, and it's really annoying. But anyway,
it's day 3. He's trying to battle through.
It's rough. Coach, thanks for taking some time with us.
Hey, listen, I'm glad to be here. Main Street Radio. This is exciting for me. We've known each other for a long time, and we've talked about getting together. Now we get a chance to get together. And you know what, guys? Thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for joining us, Coach. We really appreciate it. As Chris said, obviously, former Vanderbilt coach, former Auburn defensive coordinator, former Oklahoma State defensive coordinator, and currently man about town. Back in the spring, somebody told me that you were at a scrimmage over at Oakland, and I'm like, so he's back in town. I'm like, yeah, he's just hanging out, going to high school practices and that kind of thing. I mean, it must be nice to just be able to kind of do what you want to do now.
I'm really enjoying my time. I mean, I just been signed on with the SEC network. So for me, I'll be announcing games this season with the SEC network. And I've been in studio last couple of days and had a chance to be with Takeo and Doring and Joe Tessitore, and it's been outstanding. Spending time with Jordan Rogers and sitting over there and talking to Alyssa, man, it's really a great crew, right? I mean, I'm seeing guys that are new at it, like Ben Watson, who's been at it not that long, but is really good, like at what he does. It just like for me, it feels like football. I'm back in the SEC footprint, and I'm not coaching football. So that's for me the space I want to be in right now, and I'm excited about it.
What is that like for you? You're not coaching football. I mean, that's something that you've done for a long time.
You know what? 30 years, right? So much so, man, that when my first year of coaching, I got married. Didn't have a chance to have a honeymoon. So what do you think the first thing I do? Well, it's not the first thing. We planned it, but one of the things I decided to do was take my wife on a honeymoon. So we went to Paris. So we just got back. And we got back about a week ago and really enjoyed ourselves. Had a chance to get to Palace of Versailles, the Louvre, Montmartre, shop, eat well. I think spending time with my girls, it's been outstanding just to step away from the game a little bit. I think for me, we saw Vanderbilt, we saw some of Auburn, and we had a chance to understand where I was at Oklahoma State. And like for me, just looking at it, I just needed to step away from it. And I felt good in doing so. We've lost some icons in the game. Like when we talk about Coach Leash, and we look at like Terry Price at Texas A&M, good friend. what I know and understand is life's short, and I think what you have to do is understand what your threshold is. I understood what my threshold was, and I felt like this was the right time. And in doing it now, I'm having the time of my life. So I feel like it was the right decision for me, and I'm enjoying every moment of it.
We've heard.
Hold up.
Yes, sir.
Because Coach Mason and Chris and I have something in common in that we've all taken our other halves to Paris recently.
That's true. What? That's what I'm talking about.
No, Chris and I took our other halves to Paris, Tennessee.
Oh,
we ate catfish.
Hey, I even got a
we
picture.
ate good, but it wasn't quite the same thing.
No, we've got pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. So yeah,
I love it.
You mentioned Jordan Rodgers. What's the dynamic with you two guys? You know, you having coached him over on West End, and now you guys being, you know, co-workers, so to speak.
Well, you know, unfortunately for me, I didn't get him. I just missed Jordan, but like Jordan came and spent time with us in early in my tenure, and obviously Jordan was with the SEC network, and you know, Jordan is really good at what he does, truly really good at what he does, and now just to be on that side with him and just dialoguing about offensive football, defensive football, statistics, numbers, where guys are, what programs have the furthest to go, and what programs have the fewest pieces to figure out to the puzzle. Those are the conversations we've been having. So that part's been been great for both of us. He played at Vanderbilt. I coached at Vanderbilt. There is a built-in connection, and I think for us, I'm just excited to be working with somebody of Jordan Rodgers' caliber, just in terms of how fast he's grown in the field of being an analyst on TV.
And stepping into that broadcast booth, if you can, Coach, how do those two different experiences differ? You're going to have how much nerves, how much jitters you think you may be going to have, even though it is a different realm. It's still a big game being involved when you're on the headset.
Yeah, the difference I felt in doing an interview was the ebb and flow, the excitement in the voice versus like what happens and just letting the game be the star, right? You're not the star, the game is. And so like being able to catch the highs and lows, the ebb and flow of the game, but also being able to actually catch rhythm, because there's a rhythm to being able to be an analyst, like in the booth and actually call a game. It looks different than being able to be in the studio and just talk about the statistics. So for me, I'm just working hard at trying to learn the craft. And that's one thing about me, I'm a worker. So I'm a work in progress, but the thing that I want to do, I want to be able to make sure that I can help give the audience a great experience in watching a football game. There's context and explanation, like to things that happen, but you don't want that to take away from the game itself. And I think hopefully that a coach's perspective helps provide some context and clarity to actually watching a game.
It's funny because we spoke with David CUTCLIFFE earlier, and that interview is coming up right after you, and he'll say this, but it's so funny because he said, I got to become a lot better coach when I got replay to help me.
Absolutely.
And is that not, I mean, when you get a chance to see it happen, and then, oh, by the way, they're going to play it right back for you.
Yes.
You get a chance to really give audiences a glimpse into what maybe film session is like.
Absolutely. I think you're exactly right. You know, with the advent of what happens with replay and the ability to tell a straight and be able to talk through exactly what you just saw, it gives us, I mean, Madden was doing it a long time ago, sure. but what I will say about that, sometimes it was still hard to follow, like from the standpoint of where we are. I think the one thing that I know for sure, being in the SEC and being down in this southern footprint, people know football.
We know football, yeah.
People know football. So when you talk about gap schemes, zone schemes, when you talk about RPOs, when you're talking about, you're gonna know. But to be able to pull it apart, right? To talk about the protection and why the protection broke down, in here because of the edge rush, okay, and being able to get the one-on-one. To me, being able to simply break it down and really, give context. Hey, tackle set deep. Okay, man, been too far back in the set, and all of a sudden he gets tipped over because the pass rusher comes off the edge, man, with a long arm and the speed to power. And what you see is that 315-pound tackle falling flat on his back. That's the explanation that, man, people want to see. They know he fell down. Why? Okay, too far back. Okay, speed to power. Okay, man, good edge rushers, man, want to get to the long arm as fast as they can. So I think that piece, it's nothing new, okay, like for me as a coach in a film room, but it's a lot different because you got to be quick, you got to get it fast, and you still got to let the game be the star.
Yep, and the game's going.
Yeah.
And I guess another question I had is, will we need a get-back coach for Coach Mason, the analyst?
in the press box?
I'm already picturing a big third down, and I can see you almost coming out of your shoes a little bit there, Coach.
I'm clipped in with a parachute, so I think I'll be fine. Really, that's the good thing. Like for me, I'm actually enjoying just watching the games and really analyzing the game. I think sometimes, when you're coaching, you're constantly evaluating your team and the other team, but you rarely get a chance to study other people. I get a chance this year to be able to look, study, and evaluate, learn more about offensive processes, and really just sharpen my defensive skills as well. So I'm looking forward to all of it. Our game's a great game. The SEC is one of the best conferences to ever expand this game. And what you look at with Texas and Oklahoma coming in 24, the rich continue to get richer as you talk about the wealth of riches and players. This conference goes from 14 to 16 teams with two teams that I think have as much history, as any of these teams that are already sitting in the SEC footprint.
Coach Derek Mason joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coach, again, we've got a interview with Coach Cutcliffe coming up, and one of the things that he spoke to was, after leaving Duke and taking his new position with the SEC, on Sunday mornings he could wake up and, he wasn't stressed about what had happened the night before, that kind of thing. Is that something you're kind of looking forward to once the season starts? You're not worried about wins and losses because you're winning either way.
I'm looking forward to it because I had that same conversation with Coach Cutcliffe. we spent an hour and a half yesterday just talking about just that, just talking about time spent after the game and in processing and taking it home and being able to put it away. Now I'm not worried about taking it home. I'm not worried about putting it away. I'm just going to enjoy the game that I see. I'm going to call that game to the best of my ability, and then I'm going to go home, see my family, and hopefully enjoy a good family dinner and watch a movie with my dog.
That's a lot better way than Sunday mornings before the light cracks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
100%. Coach, through your unique lens, how do you see the SEC shaping up this year in terms of competition on both sides? Because we've talked a lot about Georgia on this program, but it seems like the West in particular this year, there's a number of teams that could win that thing.
Yeah. When you look, Alabama's still finding out who their quarterback's going to be, correct? So, for me, I understand most of the other pieces because that's a factory. I'm not worried about Tommy Rees. I'm not worried about Kevin Steele. I mean, their accolades as coordinators sort of speak to what they can do. And generally, when you go to Alabama, you're acclimating to a system anyway. So that's easy. To me, I think what's happening with Ole Miss is interesting. In terms of they've done well in the transfer portal. I see what they have in the quarterback room, and they've got 3 quarterbacks, trying to figure out exactly what that situation is going to look like. But to me, Alabama is probably everybody's favorite. And I saw the numbers yesterday, and those numbers sort of blew my mind a little bit because it's hard to say that LSU is that far behind Alabama. Just in my mind, when I look at Jaden Daniels coming back, I look at how that group of freshmen at a talent-rich, state, in Louisiana, at LSU, what they did a year ago, in saying that when you have a quarterback of that caliber, that quarterback, a receiver, a running back that they're not in contention. I think Alabama's 1A, but when you talk about 1B, I think those two are neck and neck, and I think it's anybody's game. But that's still saying that we don't know what Mississippi State's going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Will Rogers, you still got Will Rogers. You still got, Coach Arnett turned over the defensive responsibilities, but you still have a defense that's still, top 4 in the SEC, right? And so, like, to me, do those weapons rise up and can they surprise somebody like in this? So, like, to me, watching and looking, it's
Brian Kelly's
tighter.
a pretty good coach, by the way, at LSU. So it's all a big jumble in the West. It could be, like you said, anybody's game because there are too many good coaches for it not to be.
Correct. And I tell you what's different. You know Jimbo. Like, looking at Jimbo, anytime you count him out, it seems like he pops up and like it's like a weed, right?
Yep.
Can't
kill him, right?
You're like, okay, well, I got it. Then 3 weeks later, man, that weed's taller than tall. So I think there, man, you got to give him credit because they've got talent. You got to move from having talent to being talented. Because when you're talking about talented, that's the ED, that's the extra dimension, and that's all about production. If they get production at Texas A&M, it'll be interesting.
Coach Derek Mason joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, as we continue our coverage of SEC Football Media Days here at the Grand Hyatt in Nashville. We're going out here?
Yeah, we can get him out of here. Thank you so much.
Now, when we come back, we're going to have that conversation with Coach David Cutcliffe that we referenced a couple of times here. But Coach Mason, appreciate you stopping by, man. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing you and catching up with you as the season progresses.
It'll be fun. You
Absolutely.
gentlemen take care, and hopefully I'll get a chance to see you during the season.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
All right, we are going to take a break. When we come back, it's going to be David Cutcliffe right after this on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, the Lee Company Studio.
Since 1975, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has treated the orthopedic needs of Middle Tennessee residents. The trained physicians provide surgical options and minimally invasive options to treat all orthopedic needs. The walk-in clinic, OrthoQuick, helps you bypass the ER while treating sports injuries and acute needs Monday through Saturday. Visit MTBJ online at mtbj.net or on social media at Mid-Tennessee Bone Joint Clinic.
Complete Service Heat and Air is a trusted provider of top-notch heating and cooling solutions dedicated to ensuring optimal comfort and efficiency for residential and commercial spaces. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Did you know that up to 80% of us will experience back or neck pain during our lifetime? Many of you are offered surgery or addictive pain pills to relieve your chronic pain. At the Dr. Gill's Center for Back, Neck, Chronic Pain Relief, we have been leading the way to better health, naturally, and have helped tens of thousands of people right here in Middle Tennessee for the past 30 years.
I came to Dr. Gill about 10 years ago after my local doctors recommended surgery. I knew about Dr. Gill and wanted to see if he could help me. 10 years later, I am pain-free, no surgery, and no pain pills.
Surgery is scary, and over 40% of all back surgeries fail, creating a cycle of surgery and pills. There is a safer solution to your chronic pain. Make the call to the Dr. Gill Center for Back, Neck, Chronic Pain Relief today and get your life back. This office visit is normally $299, but call today and receive your initial consultation, report of finding for just $49. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Call 615-768-8743. That's 615-768-8743.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
I'm pretty sure this was the music playing the last time we had Coach
I think it is.
on.
I'm just glad you stayed still.
Yeah, we had last year.
I like it.
Welcome in to Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are in the Lee Company studio, coming to you from SEC Football Media Days kickoff event at the Grand Hyatt in downtown Nashville. And we have a very special guest with us now, Mo.
Without question. Longtime Tennessee offensive coordinator, former Ole Miss and Duke coach, David CUTCLIFFE, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And we were just kind of reminiscing about some of his former players from the area and the opportunity for him to visit with some of them. But, Coach, this will be your second year off the sideline. What was last year like for you? First time in how long?
40 some odd years. It's hard because you just lose so many close relationships. You're immediately pulled away from a lot of people you love, players, coaches, etc. So that's hard from a football standpoint. It wasn't as much that as it was the people. And the people, that can never be replaced. But that's why when I travel, I'm going to always see my guys, and that just makes you feel good. I saw coaches last year, saw former players. But the one thing I will say, for the first time in my life, I would wake up Sunday morning and my eyes would open and I would realize I don't have to worry about what happened the day before. Because those Sunday mornings when you didn't win, oh my gosh, like, okay. And when I say Sunday morning, the light hadn't hit yet. The sun wasn't up.
Yeah.
So I didn't miss some of those crushing times.
SEC Special Assistant to the Commissioner for Football Relations. And as we like to play around from sometimes, Coach, what is it that you do here?
I'm Dwight Schrute. If you want
He's
to
a people
know.
person.
Yeah. The commissioner and I talked about this. They called me and see if I had interest. I said, I'd rather fly down there and see everybody face to face. I wanted to see what the team was like. He's surrounded himself with great folks, and he's a great leader. And we didn't write a job description. He said, we want a coach being a coach. We want someone that can relate to our people in football, and we feel like you can fit that. So I've kind of written my own approach to this. So, for example, this spring, I went to 16 schools. When I go in the building, I'm going to go straight to the equipment room, see those guys, and I have communication with them. And then I'm going to see the ops people, and then I'm going to go to the training room, and then I'm going to go to the video room, and I'm going to go to the recruiting areas where all of these people. And I kind of want to hear from them before I talk to the coaches. Tell me what's up in college football, what's right, how are the players. If you want to know what the players are like or feeling, go to the equipment room. And so I want to be a conduit for those people, not only with us in the conference, but with their own coaches. And I've always taken pride in those relationships. And so I've tried to build that with our head coaches, but not just them. When I started, they said something about our 14 coaches. I said, I'm going to correct you. There's 10 full-time assistants at every school. There's 154 of those. And then we've got graduate assistants, and we have this. And I just am building relationships. And what I'm got to do is be a good listener, be an encourager, but I can also help them understand it's not as simple sometimes as we think it is as coaches to fix all of this. So I deliver also a message administratively to them and say, wait a minute, here's some things we have to overcome first. So that's my job. I don't know if that sounds right or wrong, but I love being around the buildings, and I go watch football practice. Man, I like that better than I do the games.
I bet they love having you there, too.
Well, I want to go out there and coach them up a little bit. That's hard not to.
Coach, we always say you learn more from your mistakes than your successes. Is there anything that you did last year that you kind of maybe tweaked and found a better way to do something going into year two?
Yeah, I think, again, I needed to increase the face-to-face contact. I was never, when we were forced to Zoom.
Oh, gosh.
Meetings, and I would tell anybody that runs a business and said, hey, we worked under Zoom, let's do that. There's nothing like face-to-face, and I've traveled a bit more. I'm trying to be more accessible in person. I even went to Texas and Oklahoma last spring because I wanted to start building those relationships, and I'll go back. I thought the first year was a little too removed face-to-face, too much text, too much. And I respect the coaches' times. I'm not going to call them all the time. So we do have there's 15 of us, 14 head coaches and me on a text circuit, and we can do that, and I do it with assistant coaches. I do it with the equipment room. I have a ops. Then I have a strength staff. I left them out in that other conversation because none of this is going to work unless we're all unified, in my opinion. And I would include you all in the media that if we want to, resonate positive change and maintain what's phenomenal about college athletics, we need to work to do it together.
Coach, you've talked a lot about the way the league has grown, and it's kind of been a popular theme this week. But how about just this event, especially obviously being in a city like Nashville, pardon the construction outside, but all of that. What have you seen? What have you noticed in the obviously long decorated career in the SEC, especially in regards to this particular event, which has kind of morphed into an event of its own every year?
Well, it's been fun. I mean, we're all a little more together than what we've been, but I will say this about the Grand Hyatt. It doesn't surprise me. They have been incredible hosts. I hope you guys have felt that. They've gone out of their way. The city of Nashville, yes, we have construction, but wow, everything's happening. And Nashville's a different town. I came over here recruiting in 1982. I can't find anything that was around then.
Coach, there isn't anything around that was here in 82.
But our access and everything here is so dynamic. And I like the neon they have of each institution, and I can from my room see some of the neon in Nashville, and just this has been a great event. I'm sure we'll be back. I would think for sure. I know he's announced, rightfully so, going to Dallas. The footprint is changing, and we need to recognize that. But this is a little heart and soul for me, guys. I'd rather be on Main Street than I would be down the street, right?
There ain't no doubt about it. And obviously, Texas and Oklahoma getting a lot of the headlines, but also outside of Georgia, Coach, what's kind of your overall takeaway on the league as far as competition this year? Because other than maybe potentially Georgia, seems like there's a lot of teams gunning potentially to maybe claim that championship this year.
Sure. I think, I was asked earlier by someone, give me your Final Four in the SEC. And I said, well, I think it's impossible at this point. With what I've looked going to spring practices and getting to know these staffs, I mean, it's not far reaching to see any number of teams in the West or the East that can do something. I mean, have you seen KJ Jefferson walk by here? Okay. When you understand the talent and the quality of that young man and what Sam Pittman's done, and I'm talking, the West now, but what Lane Kiffin's accomplished in LSU year 2, and then let alone Alabama and Auburn, and nobody's going to sell Coach Freeze short. And then you go flip over on the other side. Tennessee and Georgia are probably the two most obvious. Who knows? What are the Gators going to be? Billy Napier's a winner.
And Tennessee's got to go there.
Yes.
You haven't won there since 2001, maybe?
It's been a while.
Well, I tell you, it's a tough place to play. I'll never forget, we're down there one year, and we're under the center at this era, and our quarterback doing his best to bark signals, and our center's telling me on the headset, I can't hear him. Okay, you can't get any closer to a quarterback than a center under the center, right? So it's difficult, and that was an incredible rivalry for such a great time. I'm gonna go to that game just for the memories of the good old days. I've already put that one on my calendar, and I may just walk around a little bit, take it all in.
It'll be a lot to take in, but it'll be fun.
Absolutely. Coach David Cutcliffe, and regardless of anything else he's doing, he'll always be Coach Cut.
Yeah, no question.
Special assistant to the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coach, spent so much time in the Atlantic Coast Conference at Duke. How did the SEC separate itself from the ACC, and how have you seen that just in the short time in the league office?
Well, I mean, let's face it. I would even say this, and I'm not saying anything I wouldn't say to anybody involved with the Atlantic Coast Conference. It's a great league. There's some great coaches there, but I would always say in our spring meetings, we don't need to change this. If the SEC's not changing it, don't change it. It's necessary not to change it. And I've said this, and this is not disparagingly toward great fans of ACC football, but it just means more is associated with our fan base. And having last year for the first time getting behind the wheel of a car, driving in to a stadium, I would thank goodness I had parking that they afforded me, but nobody gave me escorts in or out. Walking the paths I had to walk to get to the stadium, God bless the fans of the SEC. That's why it just means more. And Coach Saban, I was really proud. At the end of the day, he took a little bit of a different approach from that. He thanked you all. I don't know if y'all were in there. You probably couldn't be. But he thanked the media for creating the brand and covering players of the SEC and making a difference. So as I looked and I think about that motto all the time, it just means more. There's a lot of areas that just means more. Go right now to the state of Texas and see the eagerness of Longhorn players and potential prospects of the opportunity to play in the SEC. A&M had that going on.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think for a second that the Longhorns weren't watching what was happening there. So the footprint getting bigger is going to mean that it just means more and more and more, in my opinion.
That would be great. I hope next year it says it just means more
And more.
I mean,
I don't know if I could sell that to our marketing people or not, but it's not a bad one, right?
No, it's
telling
not.
you,
It's
it's
not.
not inaccurate.
Yeah, no, and that's why they have him around.
Exactly. I mean, hey, you may be the special assistant to the marketing department after that one, Coach.
I try to listen when I'm in that office. They've hired so many smart young people that my jaw drops. I'm like, wow, now you're great at what you do. You're great at what you do. Yeah, I mean, the commissioner, I think, understands no different than all the great coaches is just you surround yourself with winners. And he's certainly done that in that conference office.
Well, I can tell you that for a young person to hear that from you, I'm sure it means a lot to them as well.
Well, I care for them, and they're my teammates now, and I want them to know I'm there for them. I mean, I have a lot of experience within our league, and I get asked a lot of questions by them, and they want to hear about the old days, and I can deliver that, but I'm bugging them all the time, wanting to know about the new day and what we can do with technology and our video people. If you want to see something amazing, you go to the conference office for a visit and go down to the video center. And what John McDade and those people do as far as replay and what I mean, everybody wants to complain about officiating. If they knew the efforts and the detail and how hard that is, and then he's having to recruit officials this day and time. I would encourage any young person that has a great love for the game maybe to get interested in officiating. We're going to have a need there. And I tell officials all the time.
It's going to be a lot easier now to get into big-time officiating
absolutely
than it ever has been.
And I'll say this, and I've told every official that's a friend, that you go in any football facility, you're going to see the great players. You know, you're going to see the Peyton Manning. You're going to see these people. But if you will closely look at the picture, in the background, there's a guy in a striped shirt, which without that person, none of this is capable of happening. You've got to stick your neck out, and those guys have integrity. We got meetings coming up with them next week in Birmingham, and I look forward to going over and shaking their hands and addressing that group. A lot falls on their shoulders, and it's not easy in an instant to make those decisions. we all are really good with replay, are we not? I have really become a much better coach on play calling with replay since I didn't have to do it on time, But, people, I'm not asking you to be patient, but I'm asking you to be reasonable when it comes to how you deal with these courageous people that are officials of the game.
Absolutely. And Coach, I got to ask you, I don't know if you thought you'd get out of here without at least one quarterback question, but you've seen obviously the best of the best. You've coached the best of the best. And it just seems like the bar somehow, some way keeps getting raised at that quarterback position. If you could just maybe walk us through the evolution of that position and maybe what can we realistically expect, because it seems like the players and the talent continue to improve even when it seems like we've almost reached a ceiling of sorts.
Yeah, and I don't know if there ever will be a ceiling. It's interesting when you talk about the athletes and their accuracy, the size, a lot of things change. Look at track times. I would tell people to go back and track winners in the Olympics, NCAA, anywhere over the last 40 years, and you will be shocked how far it's come. Where does it stop? I don't know. But the athleticism, the control of the ball, and the rules of the game somewhat help quarterbacks. I want you to realize that, rightfully so, they've taken these crunching hits over the middle out of the game. So when you're training a quarterback, what you wouldn't used to throw, you can fit it in on seams. You can fit it in because the guy's going to have a chance to catch it and then get hit with a shoulder. So we're going to see records fall. Obviously, how you call pass interference can vary. That's a really challenging thing. If a crew, and I used to study it, if a crew was going to call a lot of defensive pass interference calls, I would tell our quarterback to take more shots. And absolutely you can do that. So there's a bunch that goes into that. Training your quarterback is still the same. You train them from the neck up and the neck down. And where a lot of coaches make mistakes is that they sit with a film and they talk about the next stuff all the time. That's all a meeting is. And you when you don't train the detail of every mechanic over and over and over, then that's going to regress. And no matter what my eyes say, from where I'm holding the ball, from what I call intention to release, if you're not paying attention to the mechanics, a guy's not going to be a great one. And so, I get time to time young coordinators and young quarterback coaches, what's the secret? I said, there's not one. Aristotle was the best quarterback coach known to man when he said, excellence is not an act. We become what we repeatedly do. Quit talking to me and go back to work. That's the approach I take.
I love that.
Coach Davey Cutcliffe here with us on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Thanks, Coach, for taking time with us. We know you got to get downstairs and get your former offensive lineman up here. And if you see Coach walking through here with a fullback, don't be alarmed.
Well,
mind your business.
He is a great youngster, great-looking guy, and doing well in business, which makes me happy. And played for us at Ole Miss, and he's not a bodyguard, but don't mess with him. All right, guys. Thank you,
Coach. Thank you.
We're going to take a break here. When we come back, more from SEC Football Media Days kickoff event at the Grand Hyatt on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back to the Lee Company studio right after this.
Founded in 2005, Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, has a reputation of consistently offering the lowest possible rates and, above all, providing outstanding customer service. Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, takes pride in treating our clients with honesty and integrity. We provide excellent service and experience you can trust for all your mortgage needs, proudly serving all of Tennessee. Apply today. Call Pamela Witt, First Lending Solutions, 858-518-1506, or online at www.firstlendingonline.com.
NMLS number 314276, ID 135932.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
Complete Service Heat and Air is a trusted provider of top-notch heating and cooling solutions dedicated to ensuring optimal comfort and efficiency for residential and commercial spaces. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties.
Craving the juiciest, most delicious burgers in Dixon? Look no further. Luke's Burgers and Breakfast has got you covered. Whether you're in the mood for a mouth-watering cheeseburger or a breakfast burrito, we have it all. Our secret? Only the freshest ingredients, cooked to perfection every time. So why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? Come on down to Luke's Burgers and Breakfast, where every bite is an experience.
At 24 Realty, we understand that buying or selling a home is one of life's most significant decisions. That's why our team of dedicated professionals is here to guide you every step of the way, ensuring a stress-free experience. So if you're ready to embark on your real estate journey, choose the best. 24 Realty, voted the best real estate company in Cheatham County for 6 years in a row. Contact us today at 615-247-7247.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. With our world-class physicians, Houston Clinic Orthopedics will have you back enjoying your life in no time. From ortho care to physical therapy and more. Visit our website to book an appointment. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
When it comes to your insurance and financial needs, trust the team at Micah Blount State Farm. We're here to help you protect what matters most. As your trusted advisor, we'll work with you to find the right coverage for your unique situation. Whether you're looking for auto, home, life, or business insurance, we've got you covered. Call us today or visit our website to learn more. Let's talk.
Here we go. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, Wade Neely, coming to you live from 2023 SEC Football Media Days kickoff event here at the Grand Hyatt in the Mobile Lee Company studio. Boy, what a fantastic week it has been. We've got half a day left after this segment, so should be a lot of fun. And now we have the weirdest and wildest news from across the world on Wild and Wacky Wednesday. And to commemorate this fantastic Wild and Wacky Wednesday, we have the Wild and Wacky redneck headline man himself joining us, and that is Ryan McGee. Ryan, this should be fun.
No, I'm as the co-creator of the Hillbilly Headlines, I'm fired up.
I will tell you, we've had some of our headlines have overlapped over the years.
Yeah,
and that's always and that's it because
God bless America.
I mean,
that's what you say that.
You can't not love a good ridiculous story. And unfortunately, our Florida man Twitter account has not tweeted since April.
I saw that. So, I'm worried about it. But what I always say is that Florida's greatest export, it's not oranges or skill players. It's Florida, man. It's Hillbilly Headlines. Like it's this. Really it's like it's unbelievable. Yeah. But the good news is that even if Florida man is not tweeting because he's in the bottom of a drain pool somewhere in Florida, it's a pretty easy Google search to find that stuff.
Yeah. The story tells itself.
Oh, yeah. And they're everywhere. When I lived in Connecticut, I remember calling my dad and going, man, there are rednecks everywhere. I didn't realize. I just thought we had them just where I grew up. I said, but no, there's a guy with a Dale Jarrett flag with a dog barking that, fights with his wife in the front yard every night right here in Connecticut. So it happens every day. Happens every day. Yeah.
We've got them. Well, out in San Francisco, it's not a redneck, but
Well, it might be.
Yeah,
It might be a redneck
Depends on what
otter.
they did.
I can tell you, wildlife officials are trying to capture a wayward sea otter. He's been wrestling away surfboards from surfers and aggressively approaching kayakers.
Wow.
Out in Santa Cruz. And boy, Otter, what's his name? 841. Otter 841.
He's been tagged.
Was born in captivity and released into the wild in June 2020.
And been raising hell ever since.
I was going to say, I don't think they need to teach him how to act and then put him back in the wild.
Releasing him or her into the wild wasn't the thing to do.
That's right.
The 5-year-old female otter is apparently mad.
Yeah.
Because she is out here. You got a surfboard, you're not safe in Santa Cruz. Watch out for Sea Otter 841.
Yeah. She's mad about that name. She wanted to be Sea Otter 842, but 841 was taken.
I mean, this is rough here, but Southern Sea Otters are apparently
Southern Sea Otters. There you go.
There you go. They're blaming us. They're blaming us. That's not what it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been a California Sea Otter. Sea Otter's clearly Southern. Yeah.
Suddenly it all makes
Sea Otter's
sense.
clear from Mobile.
Yep.
He ain't from up here.
They play a fundamental role in maintaining healthy coastal ecosystems, but not so much if you're a surfer. So.
I went down so when the national championship game was out at Levi's Stadium. I think it was Trevor Lawrence's night, but I remember 2 nights before I went down to Santa Cruz and ate dinner on the pier, and that thing was covered up in these sea lions. They were asleep at night, and I was like, I'm messing with them, man. They're big, super. Now we know. They're big and mad.
They are very
and
angry.
they're stealing surfboards.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're either mad or they just want to surf, and you can't buy a surfboard if you're an otter.
Yeah, you can't.
It's kind of like
that's a good point.
the Mitch Hedberg joke where, ducks love bread, but they can't buy a loaf.
They can't buy, exactly. So they're going to come after you. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, let's talk about Seth Frederick Thomas, a 39-year-old transient whose last listed address was Largo, Florida. He was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, a second-degree misdemeanor, according to Pinellas County Sheriff's Office online booking records, as he was disorderly and violently yelling at passing vehicles while waving a can of, you guessed it, Florida Man beer.
Yeah. Florida Man brand beer.
There is.
Has it got meth in it?
Buddy,
a little bit.
Yeah.
I wish I knew what the ingredients were, but I guarantee you there is an upper in there somewhere, whatever it might be.
When we do Hillbilly Headlines with Marty McGee at the end almost every time, I go, and Marty, I can't believe this. And he'll go, methamphetamine? I go, yeah. Every time. Was it a controlled substance? Yes.
Every single time. It never fails. Well, this one is right up your alley.
Okay.
Because it involves a baseball team with a weird name.
All right.
Not a minor league team, though. They're a summer college team. They used to be a minor league team, I think. But the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine has sent a letter urging a Georgia summer collegiate team to change its name. And they've also sponsored a billboard imploring Macon fans to keep bacon off your plate.
Still want to change the name of the Macon Bacon?
Exactly.
Whatever. You know what? I'm going to wear a Macon Bacon hat this weekend on the show, just out of protest.
Anna Herbie, the group's nutrition education program manager, wrote to the team's president, Macon Bacon's glorification of bacon, a processed meat that raises the risk of colorectal cancer and other diseases, sends the wrong message to fans.
Fun police, man. Yeah, Eastern North Carolina, which is where I'm originally from. Biggest hog farms in the world. I mean, every that's why we have Eastern North Carolina barbecue, but there's billboards all over the place from different organizations. Don't do this. And I'm just like, I think you're just encouraging it. It's kind of like when we were kids, they put that parental advisory sticker on the CD.
Yep.
That just meant I was going to listen to it.
Buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly
if it's an
what
R-rated, if it's NC-17, I'm probably just going. I wasn't going to go. Now I'm going to go. So yeah,
I had no intentions.
I wasn't going to eat bacon, and now I'm going to eat it. Now you made me think of bacon.
Eat extra bacon.
That's right. Yeah.
And do you know the Macon Bacon's mascot's name?
I don't.
Kevin.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
There you go. Props to them.
The concession menu includes bacon wrap bacon, steak cut bacon, bacon loaded cheese fries, and bacon chips. Because listen,
it's a great place. I've been there. I actually been there. I've been. I went. They were the Macon Braves for a while, and now they're the Macon Bacon, and it's a great place.
Bacon wrapped
bacon is kind of calling out to me a little bit.
Oh, no, whatever. Well, the greatest thing about covering the national championship game, like the CFP national championship game, is there's almost always, when you get back to the hotel at 2 o'clock in the morning from the game, they do like a big bacon spread, and it's like 9 different kinds of bacon. They had bacon ice cream. I'm like, oh, I bet that's no good, but I'm going to try it, and it was amazing. So
sweet and salty can't beat that.
No, it was awesome. Plus, at 2 o'clock in the morning when I hadn't slept all day.
There you go.
It's even better.
There's that. Finally, we're going to go
to Connecticut.
Okay, there you go. I told y'all.
This is right.
I told you.
I'm
yeah,
telling
exactly
you,
right.
we're going.
That's right. Circle of life.
Well, no major injuries reported in a Monday night mayhem crash on I-95 in Bridgeport.
Oh, the devil's blood vessel. That's what Marty and I call I-95, the devil's blood vessel.
But troopers arrested a truck driver on several charges, alleging he knew that his truck was leaking human waste onto the interstate and now has caused accidents all over.
Was he hauling like Porta-Johns?
I don't know if it was just a rotor-rooter with
or
a
whatever
big
y'all
tanker.
call it. Yeah, Porta-John. I bet that's what. Oh, oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, think about this. It's 11 p.m. at night. You're driving down the interstate minding your own business. What's that smell? Squirt. You're in the wall.
I told you, I-95 is the worst. This is the worst. This is one of those, by the way, there's always those hillbilly Helens that kind of bump up against. Should we do this one?
This is it.
Like we had one time that involved a testicular injury.
Oh. And
about the 5th time we said that, both our phones started ringing, and it was one of the ESPN bosses going, "Could you please stop saying that?" They gave us one. They gave us 3 times. We got to number 5, and it was like, we would really like for you to stop saying that.
You know, you got to be really careful, and especially these kind of things.
What's the news?
Not only are you driving along, but the first vehicle was a motorcycle.
Oh, well, of course it was.
So you fell in it.
Yeah, of course it was. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Nightmare fuel.
This is rough. But the guy he was charged with reckless driving, reckless endangerment, failing to secure a load. He posted a $25,000 bail.
Wait, what? Wait. You're not going to let that go, right? Mo and I were like, wait. Yeah. No, you took us here. So, failure to secure a load, everybody.
Yeah.
There you go. Man, I really enjoyed this show. I'm glad I was here when y'all got canceled. This is great.
It's never a dull moment, though.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment. And Ryan, SEC Media Days, never a dull moment here.
Yeah, it's been great. And I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you guys, but this location has been great. I mean, we were just talking about this a few minutes ago with the legend, and this is great, and the location's great, the facility's great. Anybody needs any update on the Broadway Bridge construction, I got you. I've been watching it out my window like a movie for the last 3 days. But it is. I mean, listen, Nashville. We were just on Teresa about it. There's a reason that there's so many events coming here because this is an event place, and but this has been great. All due respect, I love the College Football Hall of Fame. That was hard to navigate last year. When I talked to you guys, I felt like I was but I love that place. But it just I don't miss the creepy mall in Hoover, right? The mall that I think was awesome. So. And dude, I love the Galleria, but it's like McDowell's. Like there's stores that I've never heard of. Yeah. But all malls are like that. But the point is, I have no problem going back.
It's still Nashville.
But rotating it doesn't bother me. I'm not Dallas, but this is the perfect venue and location for this. And you can tell everybody can get here easy. The coaches can all jet in and out. The rest of us can get here easy. And so it's it's been fun.
That's one thing. Being from Birmingham, I am all in on Hoover being the baseball championship venue. I don't think
they have something, right? Exactly.
But this here has got to find places like this because it is perfect. You're exactly right. And we've had a good time. We're going to continue having a good time. We've got another half day left, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Ryan, thanks for joining us, man.
I'm glad I was here for that. So when y'all win the Marconi Award for that segment, I want my name to be on it.
It will
be on there. Absolutely.
I appreciate it. All right, boys. Thank you.
Right. We're going to get out of here. It is time. So make sure right after this, you are sticking around for those individual team segments. They are coming to you in a packaged form. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got 4 great teams coming your way and more tomorrow. Also, Friday best of. all of these interviews you're seeing, you'll see them on Friday as well if you missed any of them. So make sure to stick around tomorrow at 2 o'clock, but all day long at MS_Sports Today on Twitter for exclusive coverage from SEC Media Days. This is Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. From the Lee Company studio, we say so long.